Good afternoon, everybody. Going to go over our Forex trades for today, Wednesday, April 13th. Finally did liquidate a position in Euro US dollar. We're going to go over that in a second. Just first, some economic news. Yesterday, import prices were announced, completely missed estimates by a wide margin, actually by 0.8%, which is a huge margin. And China announced their export prices have deflated the most since 2010. So not looking very good on import-export area. U.S. retail sales just came out this morning. Terrible miss. Was supposed to come in with a growth of 0.1%. Came in with a negative or a contraction of negative 0.3%. So that's a big miss there. That's tumbled into recession territory driven by the auto sales plunge. So we've been saying all along that the economy has entered into recession, and this is just another data point that shows we're in recession. Retail sales is going to be one of the last ones to show that, just because the consumer is always behind the curve, and they're still using their credit cards. And a matter of fact, talking about credit cards, it was announced this morning that since the financial crisis in 2008 timeframe, global debt has risen by 57 trillion with a T, trillion dollars, while GDP around the globe has basically gone nowhere. You take China out of the mix with GDP, and its GDP could possibly be negative. I haven't crunched the numbers, but China obviously helped the global GDP only because that country was growing for a while, was growing 10, 11, 12%. So they tell us now. They're telling us it's growing around 7% or so. So it's backed off a lot, and obviously still backing off from yesterday's export numbers. So not good. Peter Thiel, another bad piece of information that came out this morning. Peter Thiel, who manages billions upon billions of dollars in private equity. He says everything's overvalued, from stocks to bonds, stocks of all kinds, bonds, even houses. He says everything is overvalued, and it's all been driven by the government around the world, United States and Europe and Japan and China, keeping rates, or I shouldn't really say China, but the other countries keeping rates at the basically zero-bound territory, some even going negative. So it's just more and more information that just makes things look absolutely scary and horrible out there. One other piece of information: Goldman Sachs cut first quarter GDP forecast once again down. They're down to 0.8% report. So it seems like every week Goldman Sachs cuts GDP once, twice, right? It's by a tenth, maybe 0.2%. We already know down to, I think, 0.2%. I believe it was last week. So that's it. So let's get to the trade. One trade here in euro dollar. We were short from 1.13126. And we covered this 1.12832, picking up 29.4 pips. We had 15% of our normal size, so adjusted for size, 4.4 pips. So we'll take it all day long. It did come in more after we covered. You could see it traded down to about 1.127071 area. So we definitely left some on the table, but we only had 15% of our normal size. If we had, maybe 50% of our normal size, we could have pieced some out, and it looks like, maybe this consolidates and then breaks down even further. So we'll see what it does. Anyway, so that's it. We're going to wrap it up. If you're still trading now, good luck. If any signals come out, they'll be coming your way, and we'll be back tomorrow, assuming we get some action later tonight and tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day.